Coming up on the Empowered Woman podcast.
An empowered child, I would say, would be one who is free to be real and authentic and not robotic, and is really able to express freely, verbally or in play, without restraint. There's something beautiful about seeing children be very free in the way that they can express themselves without limitation, unless it involves their safety.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on visibility strategies for women entrepreneurs. If you want to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice and business, you're in the right place. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Marcia Spurk, and I'm your host, professional singer and visibility strategist. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. Hi, Jamie. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Marta. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I am so excited to learn more about your work and what you got going on. Why don't you tell us who you are and what you do?
I'm Jamie Barrett. I have a company called Superconscious Soul Solutions. I am retired from my clinical private practice, but I do still offer some services online, coaching and hypnotherapy, online services. I have a undergrad degree in education, kindergarten through 8th, elementary, and kindergarten through 12th grade, talented and gifted. And then I pursued a degree in counseling. So I've worked with children quite a bit. I've been a clinical supervisor and director for an advocacy center. I've managed the child protection team for a couple of counties. I've supervised counselors and forensic interviewers. So I have worked quite extensively, really with all ages, but a lot with children.
Awesome. Well, and I assume that was part of the inspiration for writing your book. Tell us more.
Yes, I was looking at hypnotherapy and was very interested in that field of study and learning how the mind worked. In particular, I was studying rapid trauma resolution, clinical hypnotherapy, and there's a large educational piece there about how the mind works and how to be the observer of your thoughts and feelings. And so I really just had a dream about writing a children's book, and I felt driven to do it. And it's got some really nuggets of gold of wisdom in Savvy Sam's Search for Self.
I love the name.
Yes, and Savvy Sam's going on a journey to find out his identity, who he really is, and he is able to tap into the wisdom in the forest. And there is a very wise sassafras tree that helps him on this journey to discover how his mind works and who he really is, and that he really is good enough, and how to be more present in the now, in the moment.
That's beautiful. I have a Sam too, so I'm gonna have to
Goodness.
get him to read it, and my other kids as well. I love that you are focusing on kids because as an adult now and being in the coaching space, we hear a lot about, the power of your thoughts and self-discovery and all of that. But if we were to start at a young age, that would be ideal and it would be great. Can you tell us more about your focus on the conscious and subconscious and some principles that you can share with us for those who may not be familiar with this language?
Well, I think what I really want people to learn and take away is that we do have a powerful conscious mind. It's like a computer. It helps us figure things out. But our subconscious mind controls us anywhere from 90 to 95% of the time. And I want you to be able to know really how the subconscious mind works so that you're aware of this. Your subconscious mind only knows now. It cannot tell time. It does not know past and future. So if you're thinking about a bad thing that happened in the past, your subconscious mind thinks it's happening now and wants you to do something about it. But there's nothing for you to do about past except to accept it and learn from it. So learn to be that observer of what you're thinking and be able to ground yourself back to the now, to the moment, because you don't want to start ruminating and thinking about something bad that happened over and over and over. That really leads to depression. Subconscious mind also doesn't know reality from fantasy. So a good example would be if you go to see a scary movie and you're really getting scared and it seems so real, but it's not real. So you really have to be that observer and tell yourself, this is not real. This is not really happening. It feels real. It looks real. So it's about being able to be that observer and control and manage your thoughts and emotions that come up. Your thoughts and your mind are not who you are. Thoughts aren't even real. They can be changed.
Yeah.
Your feelings are not who you are. Feelings just come up in waves and are. And all feelings are okay. And it's okay. We're going to have negative thoughts and emotions. We're supposed to. It's information for you. It's not bad or wrong.
I love that. That's so key. And something for us to remind ourselves of all of the time, because we can get caught up in those feelings, in those memories, in the hypotheticals, and it could spiral from there. In your work with adults, children, all ages, have you found that children tend to be more receptive to this, in learning to work with this? What are like the main differences you feel, and also your desire to focus on kids versus adults? Did it have anything to do with that?
I really think that children are easier to work with. They are more highly suggestible, and they deserve, to learn about the mind and how the mind works. They're very receptive to it. I used to really work with children with sand tray therapy. They build and create these worlds. It helps them be very present in the moment. When children feel really safe, they will project their own thoughts, emotions, problems into their play, into these worlds they create. And it's fascinating work. They really know how to be more present. Animals and children know how to be more present in the moment. And that's when you really can clear and heal trauma. When you're present in the moment, working through that, working through some type of trauma that you had. So it's been a joy, the joy of my life, and an honor to work with children. I love to see them use creation and play to heal.
Because they're so good at it to begin with. So that's awesome. Tell us more about the writing process for the book. You said you had wanted to write a children's book. Did you already have the topic in mind? Like, kind of what came first, and how was it developing the characters and then working with someone to illustrate? It's always fun to hear about the writing process.
Well, honestly, I did feel very driven after I dreamed about this, and I just could not stop writing it. I really felt like I was channeling God or the divine, quite honestly. And I wrote it's written in poetry form. I tried to write it in a way that was entertaining, but very simplistic too, and easy to understand and not complicated. And I wrote this in one day and evening, actually. And I wrote the affirmations that are at the end of the book a couple of weeks later. Yes, and I did go with a self-publishing company, and there was a really good illustrator. They sent and made some illustrations and I reviewed them. And at first they had Savvy Sam in this big red shirt. And I said, no, that's not going to work. Savvy Sam's in the forest meditating and healing. And so the greens, the blues, the teals are the calming colors. So let's go with those colors and those natural nature colors.
Mm-hmm.
And the writing was easier than the publishing.
Okay.
I have to say that.
So what have you been doing now that the book is out? Have you been able to share it with schools or communities of children? What are some of the things that you have done or that you're wanting to do to get this out for parents and for children?
Yes, I've done some emails and some work getting the news out, and some libraries are receptive, and certainly would like to do more of that, where perhaps go and speak at some schools or libraries and
Yeah.
do some readings
Mm-hmm.
so that the message gets out to larger groups of people.
Absolutely.
Because I think the message is empowering.
Yeah, it really is. So where can we find the book? Is it on Amazon? Tell us more. Hey, let me ask you a question. Would you like to be my next guest on the Empowered Woman podcast? Do you have a story you'd like to share? Want more visibility for your business on a show ranked in the top 0.5% in the world? Well, then head on over to martasburke.com/podcast guest for more information.
It is on Amazon. I did have an animated digital copy made,
Fun.
and that is on a site that is, you can actually buy that copy.
Okay.
It's at located on Stan Store,
Okay.
which Stan Stores helps you sell digital copies of your work.
I'll make sure and link that in the show notes so people can see it, because then that's more interactive or more dynamic for kids to watch and see.
I really do like the digital animated copy. I wanted the person that did the voiceover to it to have a voice more like Mother Nature.
Uh-huh.
And so I really like that copy of it. I
That's
think it would be fun for kids.
definitely. So I'll link that. So any moms or anybody that is looking for a gift for a child, go check out Savvy Sam's Search for Self. I love the alliteration there with all of the S's. Really cool.
Thank you.
Tell me more about your services and the coaching, who you're focused on, what are the things that you specialize in, if there is such a thing, or if it's, more life coaching for any situation.
Well, the hypnotherapy, I can conduct a more spiritual type of hypnotherapy or coaching hypnotherapy, and it's online. And you're tapping into your superconscious, which is your higher self, for wisdom and answers and change and healing. And I offer just coaching or consultations. I offer those services. I know and can offer energy psychology,
Okay.
emotional freedom technique, can provide parents consultations on parenting.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of history with that. So,
And then people can contact you to schedule an initial session and learn more, see if it's a fit.
I would really like to offer a 15-minute free consultation, and it would be best just to contact me now through my email, Superconscious Soul Solutions @gmail.com, because I do have a website that's going under reconstruction right now.
Okay, awesome. we'll make sure and put the email there. And I encourage everyone listening to have a conversation with Jamie and learn more about how she could support you. Now, on that note, I'd love to hear some stories. I think stories obviously are so helpful to get the point across. What are some transformations that you've been able to witness and facilitate as a result of your work in helping people access that wisdom in their higher self?
Oh, I have so many stories now. Which one?
Right?
Uh, you know, there are some incredible work with children
Mm,
through sand tray therapy, being present in the moment. Um, I have worked a lot with children who've been abused and neglected, and even the foster care environment. Um, I've worked with children going through terminal illness. There's a lot of different stories there.
yeah.
Some of them conflict custody cases. They're not very they're
Yeah.
not very fun cases, I'll
Yeah.
have to say.
Yeah.
But I really have worked with parents with their children in play as well. And
Nice.
that's very empowering too. And I do remember one where a child had really been taken away from this mother, and I did try have these play sessions with her and her child to reunify them, working with both of them. We go in the playroom, and it would be, I still remember that, even though it's probably 25, 30 years ago, where the mother, that would be playing, and she would get this red boa and be fire, and the little girl would come and have the water hose and put the fire out. And so the mother really did have anger issues. So
Mm,
that projection was so powerful to
wow.
even observe and watch that. She was actually and it showed this mother using that boa just melting, and the anger just melting away.
Mm,
When you experience the power of play like that and the power of healing with individual children or with families like that, it's really powerful.
mm. Wow. I had chills when you were
Yeah,
describing it. That's beautiful. And it's such a
yeah.
bonding moment too for restoring the relationship and just so much learning. And I think for you as a facilitator and observing, that's also powerful to witness. I love that.
It's so powerful. And you moms out there, play with your children. And it is just a way to bond like no other. Be
Yeah.
present with your child and play with your child and
Mm.
laugh with your child.
That's great advice. I love it. Well, before I have you say again how people can connect with you and how can they find you, I always like asking my guests what I say is my $1 million question.
Oh, oh goodness. Okay.
So typically I ask, so I think I'm gonna double up here because of your subject matter. Typically I ask women, what is an empowered woman? If I have my guy guests, I then say, what is an empowered human? And I think for you, I would love to hear your answer of what is an empowered woman, but I also would like to hear your answer for what is an empowered child because of, your work and what you've
hmm
already shared. So take it away.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I really think that an empowered woman has a very strong sense of self-worth. She does know she's good enough and she's fearless. She knows how to be mindful and be the observer um, of her thoughts and feelings. She's present in the moment and avoids dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. She realizes her power are her choices, um, and that the only power she has are the choices she makes in the now, in the moment, right now. An empowered child, I would say, would be one who is free to be real and authentic and not robotic,
Mhm.
and is really able to express freely, verbally or in play, without restraint. There's something beautiful about seeing children be very free in the way that they can express themselves without limitation, unless it involves their safety.
Right. hmm And very inspiring for grown-ups to watch and learn from and reconnect with their own inner child, right? Um, I love that. So good. Thank you so much for
Yes.
sharing both. They were very inspiring and encouraging. Well, tell us how people can connect with you. You had shared your email address, obviously checking out the book, both on Amazon, but also on Stan Store if they want the animated version. Is there a specific social media platform that you hang out at?
I'm not real tech savvy. I'm going to admit that right now. Um, I, I do have, I do have a Twitter.
Okay.
I don't even know what the handle is.
Yes.
Um, Instagram, I'm sure I have an account there as well.
Perfect. That makes
Um,
it. But is the easiest way then to email you?
the easiest way to contact me that I would prefer would be email right now.
Okay, perfect. We'll have it linked. Well, thank you so much for the work that you're doing out there. Very, very inspiring and encouraging to both children and grown-ups and mothers, right? Parents. Thank you for coming on the show and sharing. I'm excited for people to go and grab a copy of Savvy Sam's Search for Self. And yeah, keep spreading
Okay.
this message, Jamie.
All right. Thank you so much, Marta. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.